Hello everyone and welcome to day 5. And today is not just another session. Today you complete the journey from machine learning model to real world applications. This is the difference between learning and building. Over the last 4 days you have built something more powerful. Moving from Python basics, data analysis, machine learning, then improving the model. As shown here, to point the pyramid, you built a strong foundation. And today we add the final layer. We are going to build the interface to host your project. Now let's understand something very important. Machine learning alone is not enough. Users don't just write Python code. Businesses don't understand these notebooks. They use applications. On one side we have the code and on the other side we have user friendly interfaces. A model creates the value only when the project can use it. Now, the solution for this is Streamlit. Python, Streamlit, and web application. It converts your Python code into an interactive application. No complex setup, no front end required. No front end needed. You don't need HTML, you don't need CSS, and you don't need JavaScript. You just write in Python, and Streamlit handles everything. This is engineering without the front end. Now let's understand the structure of our app. So this is the structure of our app, which goes from the title, then comes the buttons, then the input output and the prediction systems. Every UI element is just one line of Python. Now look at the full screen setup. User gives the input, the model is going to process the input, and the app is going to display the output. So to say, the model goes from input, the input goes into the model, and we get the output ready on our dashboard. So what are we going to build today? We are going to build a crop prediction system in which the input is the environmental data that we saw in our database. The humidity, temperature, moisture, the nutritional content of the soil and all. Then the engine is going to train the ML model. And the output that we are going to get is the best crop recommendation along with the other crops as well. Their item scores as well. Now, what will be the inputs? As I told you earlier, the inputs are going to be temperature, humidity, moisture, soil type, the nutrients present in the soil and all. Very simple for users. And the output must be clear, instant and readable. It should be the predicted crop along with the confidence score of each crop. Because the users need trust. The ML system works on trust score. And the real world systems also believe in the trust score. Now moving on to the next slide, which is the workspace blueprint. Now let's talk about like engineers. A proper project structure has app.py, the main Streamlit file which we are going to run, the model file, the dataset, and finally the requirements. This makes your project deployable. Now, this is very important. Building a project is different from writing a code. So ask yourself, is the UI simpler? Is the prediction fast? And is the output clear? These matter as much as the accuracy as well. Now, once the system is built, you can run it locally or upload it to GitHub and deploy using Streamlit Cloud, which we are going to see in the next part. Your project becomes accessible globally then. Now, and this is where everything changes. Your code becomes a portfolio project. Build a prediction web app. This looks powerful, right? That's the power of data analysis. So let me say this clearly. You started the journey with raw data. You built a complete system. You came here as beginners and you leave as builders. Now enough of theory. Let us build your application practically. So open up your Google Colab or a core editor. Today we turn your project into a model and model into a real product. So let's begin, guys. Alright, now we move from theory to actually building the application. Up till now, we were using Google Colab, which is great learning tool and for experimentation purposes. But when we build applications, we need to use proper development environments. And for that, today I'll introduce you to one such tool, which is PyCharm. So, PyCharm is an IDE, which is also known as Integrated Development Environment. It helps us write the code, organize the files, debug errors, and run applications. It is similar to Visual Studio Code, but only for Python. Think of it as like Google Colab, but more powerful and built for real world projects. So let us open PyCharm and create a new project. So I'm going to write a PyCharm and it is going to run for a while. It is going to prompt me to the home screen, and here I can click on new project and it is going to create me a new project. I'll name it crop prediction system or crop pred. Okay, and I'm going to type here as project environment as venv or virtual environment for Python purposes, and I'm going to click on create. So it has created me my sample project in which I can add my files, organize those files on this particular tab. I can write my code here. So the original code will be written as main.py, but instead of main.py, I'll have to rewrite it as app.py. So I'm going to right click here, then I'm going on rename and I'll be writing here app.py. Okay, and I'm going to refactor it. So on clicking on refactor, everywhere where there was stored as main.py, it is going to rewrite it as app.py. Now comes the next step, which is adding our database file. So for that, I need to go in my folder sections. In downloads, I had saved my CSV file right here. Now I'm going to import it as data underscore core. And this is all the CSV file that we needed. If I want to look it as tables, I can click on this particular icon, and yeah, it is presented to me in the form of tables as well. So I can click on cancel and go back. I don't want this right now, so I'm going to close it and coming on app.py. Now we are ready to build a real application. So let us start writing the code. I'll just clear everything up and let's begin from the top. The first section that we had to do while writing any code was to import all the libraries necessary. So for this project, since we are going to deploy the application, I am going to import a library known as Streamlit. Import Streamlit as st. Okay. This is the most important line. It tells Python we are going to use a Streamlit to build our web application. Okay, now the next two libraries are going to be import pandas as pd and import numpy as np. Pandas is the library that handles all the data formats and everything related to the CSV file that we had stored, and the numpy acts as the handler for the numbers. Now comes the most important part, which was about the machine learning tools. So the machine learning tools that we saw yesterday were like random forest classifier, which performed best in all the categories. Okay, so I'm going to import that. Then I'm also going to import the standard scaler, live encoder, and train test split datasets. Okay, so I'm going to write here from sklearn dot model selection import train test split. Then I'm going to write from sklearn dot preprocessing import standard scaler and comma lab encoder. And last but not the least, I am going to import from sklearn import dot ensemble 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 import random forest. random forest classifier. So these are machine learning tools, same as we used in our previous lecture or in the lecture 4 of our series. Now we have to set the config page. So to set it, I need to use the Streamlit library. So st.title, st.title. In the title, I am going to write it as crop prediction system. Okay, crop prediction system, and in that I am going to write as st.write as enter the environmental conditions to predict the most suitable environments or crops. Okay, and these lines are used to create the UI. So title on the top and the description to be written on below of it. Okay, so see how simple it is. Now we are going to load our data. So to load the data, I'll have to write or store the data in our cache file. So at st.cache underscore data, I'll have to define loading of the data. So data, I'll have to define loading of the data as df equals to pd.readcsv. From data, I need to import this particular file. So for that, I'll have to copy the path of this file. So copy the path, and from here, I'll have to paste it. Okay, sorry. I'll have to copy the URL absolute path. Okay, and I'm going to paste it right here. Okay, so instead of this, I could just write here data underscore core as well. It will be loading the same file as it is in the same directory, but if it not had been in the same directory, I'll have to copy the whole path as well, and underscore under that I'll have to return the df or the data frame that we have loaded. Now this is the most important part. So st.cache data, it means don't reload the data again and again. It will be stored only once in the memory, and that is going to be used again and again. So this improves the performance of our system as well. The df equals to this particular load data. It means the data set is going to be loaded. Now we are going to move to the next part, which is about the pre-processing. So for pre-processing, we need the label encoders. So we will be writing the code for that, where LE equals to label encoder and Y is going to be equal to LE.fit underscore transform, and in this I am going to write df in square brackets. I am going to write about the particular cell that I want, crop type, right? And after this, we are going to convert the crop names into the numbers, because model understands only the numbers. And then we are also going to repeat the same step for x as well, where x is the inputs and the y is the outputs. So x equals to df dot drop. I'll have to drop few column names, the first of which is crop type and the second one being the fertilizers. Okay, so df dot drop columns, where the first column is going to be about crop type and the second column is going to be fertilizer name. fertilizer name. Okay. Yeah. And after this, here we define all the input features for X. We remove the targets, that is the crop type, and unnecessary column, which was the fertilizer name, obviously. And now we are going to write X equals pd dot get, which is one hot encoding for X, where X equals pd dot get dummies for the column of soil type. Get dummies for X underscore column equals soil type. Okay, so this is going to set dummy values for soil type, the section. And now we move on to, so instead of numbers, we are creating like separate columns for each soil type. So it is not going to matter as such. Now we are going to save the structure. So for saving the structure, we have to like write about feature columns as well. So feature underscore columns equals x dot columns. And okay, we don't need this particular line. Okay, so feature columns is x dot columns, and we need to store uh, like column names as well. So user input matches the particular training data set. Now the next step is going to be training the model. So to train the model, we will have to write here again at st dot cache data, sorry, cache resource, and here we are going to define the training model. Define the training model where the inputs is x and the output is going to be y. Okay, so okay, and so again the caching comes, so model does not train again and again. Instead of that, it will train only once and it is going to fetch the same. So scalar equals standard scalar, and x underscore scaled equals standard fit transform of x. Then I'll have to write for the model. Here we are going to scale the data, and now we are going to write about our machine learning model. So model equals random forest classifier, and in this we will be writing the parameters where n underscore estimator, let's say let us keep it at 200s. Okay, fine. And maximum underscore depth, let us keep it as 12, and we shall also keep some random state, let us keep it as 42 only. Okay, so this is our machine learning model, the random forest, powerful and yet reliable. So now next we are going to fit the model. To fit the model, we are going to write about model.fit, and it is scaled up to y. This is the training, and after that we are going to return our model by writing return model, comma, scalar. Okay, now we return the model and the scalar. Now model comma scalar, it will be training on x comma y, so our model will be ready. Now we need to add some user inputs, and we need to set some parameters. For that, let us create the UI. So for UI, I'm going to write st dot subheader subheader. So for subheader, I am going to write about input parameters. Input parameters. Okay, input parameters. This creates a section heading, and inside this, I am going to write temperature, and I'll set a slider for it. st.slider, where it is going to be presented as temperature. It is going to be presented in temperature as degree Celsius. Okay, fine. And it is going to range from 10.0, comma 50.0, comma 30.0. Okay, this creates a slider. User can select the value visually. So same pattern should be going for humidity, moisture, and nutrients as well. So I'm going to copy the same. Okay, so yeah, I'm going to write about humidity, then the same for moisture, and let's say I'll also continue it for nitrogen, and the same for phosphorus. Let's make it for potassium as well. Okay, so same pattern for humidity, moisture, and the nutrients as well. Now for soil type, we are going to write it as in select box type. Okay, so for that, I'll have to write soil underscore type equals st dot select box, and in this I'm going to write about soil type, comma df soil type. Okay, and this is going to be unique dot unique. Okay, so this particular thing creates a drop down where the user can select the drop down file or from the soil type. And now we are going to create an input data. So here I'm going to write about input underscore dict equals temperature, then humidity. Then I am going to write the same for about, sorry, for the calls. Moisture, and then I'm going to write the same for about nitrogen, then same for phosphorus and potassium. So instead of temp, I'll have to write humidity first of all, then I'll have to write moisture, then I'll have to write nitrogen, nitrogen, then I'll have to write potassium, potassium, sorry, it will go below. Okay, and here phosphorus. So same type should be going here as well. Instead of temp, potassium, here I'll have to write phosphorus, then nitrogen, then moisture, and unity. And temp should be as it is. So we collect all the input data into the dictionary so that it can be filled in this place as well. Okay. And for the last one hot encoding, we will be writing for columns in feature columns if soil type soil type is in columns, we are going to input dictionary column equals to 1. If column equals to f of soil type, and if it is the case, sorry, this should not be like this, it should be like soil type. Okay. And underscore, there should be a curly brace. In curly brace it should be soil underscore type, else it should be 0. This matches the input with the training format, which is the most important step. And we are going to now write the final input data frame, where input underscore df equals pd dot data frame, which is input dictionaries, which converts the dictionary into the data frames. And the last is input underscore df equals input.df equals input underscore df of dot reindex the columns equals feature columns, and fill the values with 0 to ensure the same column order to be present for all. Okay. And the prediction button. So for that, if st dot button is going to be pressed on predict crop, this creates the button. When clicked, the prediction happens. So input should be scaled. Input underscore scaled, which should be scaled according to the scalar of input data frame. Okay. Then scale the input same as the training, and prediction should be equal to model dot predict the input which is being scaled. So model predicts the particular output, right? Now predicted crop, we are going to write about predicted underscore crop, which is equal to le dot inverse transform of prediction, and this should be indexed as 0. Okay, this should be indexed as 0, which converts number back to the crop name. Now we are going to write about st.success where f of the crop type is predicted crop. Okay, and the result should be declared beautifully. Now we are going to write about confidence graph as well. So for confidence graph, we are going to write probs, probabilities of model dot predict probability of input scalar, input underscore scaled, input underscore scaled, and here for index 0 as well, to get the probability of each and every crop. So prob underscore df, this will be equal to pd dot data frame. In this I am going to write about this, we are going to write about first of all crops, which is crop type. Okay, instead of crop I have to write about crop, and in this we'll have to write about le dot classes underscore, and instead of humidity we'll be writing about probability scores as well, probability scores as well, where it is probs, which will create the data frames for each particular crop as well. And we'll also be presenting it in form of bar chart. So we'll be writing st dot bar underscore chart, and here we are writing prob underscore df dot set dot index, set underscore index to crop. Okay, and this displays the graph. So when we click on the predict button, it is going to look like predict the graph as well. So let us look at the particular code once again to get a clear cut knowledge if we have missed anything or if there is something wrong with our code as well. So looking from the beginning, so first of all we'll have to import everything. We'll have to import the streamlit as st, then we'll have to import the pandas as pd, then we'll have to import numpy as np as well, and from sklearn we'll have to model.selection import train and test split. Okay, first of all we'll have to create another library, another file which will be a normal file, and we'll be writing here requirements.txt. Okay, requirements.txt, and in requirements.txt we'll have to write about 4 different libraries that we need to install to run this particular application. Which 4 libraries were they? First of all it was streamlit, then we had to write about pandas, then we had to write about numpy, and the last one was scikit dash learn. Okay, scikit.learn. These are the 4 libraries that we need to install to run this particular application. So it says package requirements streamlit is not satisfied. Since we had written it here, it has directly fetched it from that particular requirements.txt file, and it is giving me that this particular requirement has not been satisfied. So we are going to click on sync project. It is going to install everything. These particular apps are not installed. Sync project, they are going to fetch. So we can see here everything has begun downloading. Okay, so let us check our code file now. So first of all we imported streamlit as st, then pandas as pd, numpy as np, then sklearn model selection, import train test split, sklearn pre-processing, standard scaler, and lab encoder. We imported label label encoder. Then we imported the random forest classifier as well. Then we wrote the title as crop prediction app. Excuse. So instead, we also will have to write here the page setup as st.set page config, and in this we will have to write the page title. page underscore title, which is crop type, and layout should be, instead of wide, it will be centered. CNTRAD. Okay, centered. So the thing that comes on the top right like this in the Google Chrome, that will be presented as crop type. Okay, crop prediction app. Crop pred. Okay, crop pred is looks fine. Then we wrote about the title. Okay. Then we wrote about the st.write, which is the description of that particular app that we are going to build. Then we load the data. To load the data, we like gave it as cache data so that it will be stored in the memory rather than fetching it again and again from the CSV file. Then we started our pre-processing where LABEL, right? LAB, label encoder. Okay, label encoder. Then y equals to le dot fit transformer df, which was crop type first of all. Then we did it for one hot encoding, that is x equals pd underscore get dummies x column, where column was the soil type, and the not required files which were like this to then we moved on to this particular section which was loading the data. Okay, so PyCharm is currently not responding, but we will still check it again and again. So st.write. So first of all, we had to write this particular, and we loaded the data df equals to pd.read csv. Okay, so we read the data, and for this it was level fit transform crop type, then x equals df dot drop if we needed to drop any particular columns, which was crop type and the fertilizer name. Then we set the dummies. Then there was feature column section where we included feature columns as x dot columns. Then we started training the data. So this comes the training part. The whole part of this is training part, where we defined the model where x was the input and y was the output. Scalar, so we standard scaled the data. Then x scaled, we referenced it to scalar.fit transform. Okay, defined to x. Then model, which was random classifier model with n estimators as 200, maximum depth 12, and random state 42. Then we fit the model, particular model, with respect to x scaled and y. Okay, then we returned the model and the scalar value. Right, then the model and scalar, we took it and trained the model with respect to x and y. Now st.subheader. So this became the user input part. So this was the user input part where the user had to input the parameters. So the first parameter that the user had to input was the temperature, where we set it to the sliding section, where temperature was measured in C, and 10, 50, 30 are its parameters. And here we'll have to present the parameter as 100 since humidity is measured from 0 to 100. Okay, and instead of 30, let us make it 60. Let us make it 60. Okay, and then we begin with moisture. Moisture starts from 0 and it goes from 100, goes to 100 with a difference of 40. Okay, 40. Then we looked at nitrogen. So nitrogen, it moves from 0 to 100. 0. Okay, PyCharm is okay. 0 to 100, and this should be set to again 20, let's say. Okay, this will be set to 20. Then phosphorus. For phosphorus, we will set it from 0 to 100. Okay, we will set it from 0 to 100 as well. And the divider should be 50. Okay, instead of 50, we'll write it here 15. And then potassium. For potassium, this should be starting from 0 as well, and it should go up to 100. Here let's say 10. Okay, then we will write about the soil type. So for soil type, we will be adding a select box, so it will give us a drop down box in which we will be writing about the soil type that we have to provide it, and it should be unique. Then there will be input dictionaries as well. So input dictionaries, which will be the input dictionaries? So first of all, it will be about the temperature, which is mapped to temp, then humidity, which is mapped to humidity, moisture. So all these white parts are mentioned in here, okay, and all these green parts are mentioned in here. So green parts are the parts which are in CSV file, from which we are fetching it and we are assigning it to this particular variable, which is going to be used here. Okay, right? And for column type in feature columns, if soil type in col, then input dictionary col uh, equals 1 if column is soil type. So this just inputs everything to 1 for soil type, since it does not have any requirement on the our input data set. Okay, so input df equals pd dot data frame. It will be reading the data frame. Soil type f soil type, okay, it is going to read the data frame, but it should not be in this, and even this should not be involved with this. Okay, this will create confusion for the model, right? So this is the for loop which will go from for to input dictionary of columns, and input df equals pd dot data frame input dictionary. So we have to, like, this input dictionary, we have defined it this as the input dictionary, right? And input df dot column equals input underscore df dot reindex. So we are defining the index again for the feature columns value, which will be first filled with 0. If st dot button, so when we click on the predict button, okay, when we click on the predict button, it is going to input the scaled value of the input dictionary or the input data frame, right? And it is going to give us the prediction, which is model dot predict. So based on the model, it is going to predict us everything. Okay, so model dot predict input scaled, and then we are going to get the success message. So predicted crop will be the inverse transform of the prediction, which was set to 0. Then st.success, it is the crop type which has been predicted successfully. Then we'll have to write about these props as well. Okay, and prop df. Okay, and this should be inside. This should not be inside. This particular need to be inside this. This should also be inside this, and this should be ending right here. Okay, and then we are going to sort all these according to st.bar. Okay, no, we are going to sort all these values first. Then we are going to write here dot sort underscore values by probability, and ascending equals to false. Okay, by ascending equals to false until this point only. And st.bar chart, we are going to get the prediction as well. So this is it, I guess. And we are going to first of all run this particular file to check if there is any error that is occurring. So this is the particular error that occurs here at st.title. So where did we put st title? Okay, yeah. Hmm. Okay, we have cleared this. Let us run it again to check if there is any error. So there is another error in crop prediction system. Okay, that particular error has been cleared. Now we are getting this particular error here, which is df is not defined. Okay, so df is not defined, but we had already defined the df. Okay, it is giving the same error again. Okay, we did not write this as df equals to load data, and we'll run it again to check if the error gets solved of this particular line here. Okay, that particular error got solved, I guess, and it is giving the error at this part, I guess. pd.get dummies columns. Yeah, we had to write here columns, and it has exited. So columns equals soil type. We had missed an S here. So all these messages or all these errors can be ignored. These are like warning errors. But this particular can't be ignored. Okay, this particular errors can't be ignored because they are real errors. They won't make us run the particular app that we are going to like write. Okay, so there is this particular error here as well. So it's in line number 65. Input df as call equals input dot reindex. Okay. Okay, so this was just about the prediction buttons, and the error might be somewhere around this particular call. So there comes too much debugging when we are writing any code. So for call in feature columns, okay, if soil type in call, okay, input dictionary call equals 1, if call equals f of soil type underscore soil type else 0. Okay, okay, so input data frame should be equal to pd dot data frame, and input df equals input df. Okay, let us try removing this particular column and let us rerun it. Equals input df reindex columns as feature columns and then fill the values as 0. So let us run this again to try if it runs correctly. Yeah, I guess it has solved the problem that we had. Now we have problem on this line number 79, which is prop df. Okay, so st.df should not be ending here. It should be ending here. Okay, so we'll run it again. I guess the errors have been cleared. All the errors have been cleared right now. We'll recheck. This is this particular step that we are doing right now, checking the code and rerunning it. This is known as debugging. our code. Okay, so there is this error again. Maybe it is associated with this particular length of code. So it was pd.dataframe. So let us remove this props. So props was model.predict underscore probability of input scaled 0, and there should be st.subheader as well, subheader known as probability confidence. Okay, probability confidence, where probability underscore df equals pd dot data frame. So instead, if we remove these probs, it's going to give us crop the classes, then probability equals probs. Okay, then sort values by probability ascending false. Okay, let us rerun this particular thing, and I guess the error should be cleared right now. Still it is giving the same error of probability underscore df. So equals pd dot data frame, and this crop is presented as label encoded classes, and probability is presented as probs. So where probs is model dot predict probability of input scaled from 0. Okay, this is also right. Then it is going to like dot sort values by, okay, I guess be clear, sort values by probability, and ascending should be equal to false. Yeah, I don't guess that there is any error with this. So yeah, uh, there seems like this should be here, and let us rerun this particular file to debug it. I guess the issue should be solved by now. Yeah, so our code has been executed properly, so there are like no errors right now when we get this particular function like finished with exit code 0, and now we are going to run it in a, to look at it in our dashboard. So when we have to look at it in our dashboard, we will have to open our console. So here we can see a particular thing which is known as terminal. So by clicking on that, we execute the terminal, and in here we'll have to write these particular lines. So streamlit run app.py, and when I click on enter, it is going to run my particular application, and it is going to present me my dashboard. So as we can see here, it is running. It is this particular function. It shows that our code is running. If we want to stop it, we can click on here. We can see here there are like all the values 30, which was defined as our initial value. and the temperature range from 10 to 50 degrees Celsius. Okay, humidity ranges from 10 to 100 with our linear to be predicted as 60. And this is the like select checkbox. So when we click on here and we select black soil, since I come from like southern part of Maharashtra, from Sangli, so we have black soil in abundance. When I click on predict, it is going to predict me the crop type which can be grown in our place. Okay, so pulses can be grown in abundance in this particular condition. In these particular conditions where temperature is 30 degrees Celsius, humidity is 60, moisture is 40, nitrogen 20, phosphorus 15, potassium 10. And if the soil is black, when I click on predict, it is going to predict me the output as the pulses. So we can also see here the probability, which is 0.2, that is 21%. We can also zoom in to check, right? We can also zoom in to check. When we like using two fingers, when you drag down, it is going to zoom in. When we are going to like press it up, it is going to zoom out. Okay, when I change this particular anything, like when I increase the moisture content, reduce the humidity, reduce the temperature as well, and if I say there is too much nitrogen in my field, there is too much phosphorus, too much of potassium, and if I have, let's say, a loamy soil. Okay, so loamy soil, for this particular prediction, the answer is going to be sugarcane. As we can see here, confidence score is giving us like 16% almost. And yeah, this is the dashboard that the people like. When we are able to change all these particular settings, we are going to tinker with it, the users are definitely going to love it. So this is the dashboard that we have created. All the best and congratulations for all your efforts. And this is the prize that we get on creating something that we call our own. So congratulations guys, you have completely made your own dashboard. You started with printing hello world in the first day, in the day one, and today you have built a complete machine learning application along with a functional deployable dashboard which is usable and real as well. So this guys is the difference between learning and building. So in this particular workshop, we have started from learning about basics of Python. We started then about learning of what data analysis is. We learned about pandas and visualize data visualization stuff. Then we moved on to like building machine learning model, starting from with logistic regression. We improved our model along with decision trees and random forest. And today we have deployed our model to predict what kind of crop is suitable in these particular conditions. So I hope you guys have loved it, liked it as well, as much as I enjoyed this journey of writing the code, debugging, re-entering the values and tinkering with it. So if you guys have loved this complete series, do like this video, share it with your friends who are interested in like data science or data analytics stuff, who are like looking forward to upgrade their career paths and all. And if you have liked what I have done today, so consider subscribing to my channel as well. I regularly post videos regarding various topics from computer science and electronics telecom technology. If you guys have interest in those parts as well, please do visit all other playlists. Tell me what you guys think of it. If you have any doubts, ask me in the comments. Few people have also responded to the comments as well, that to the videos that I have posted. If you guys have any question, do respond in the comment box. I'll be sure that I answer to all your questions. So stay tuned to for more such awesome videos and awesome content, or any workshop if there might be any. And yeah, enjoy your day. Keep learning, keep building. All the best.